Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. Today, folks, I want to share with you another smart home tech device, and that is another smart home Wi-Fi security camera. Now, these kind of blend into baby cams or nanny cams. Ultimately, it's just a home security camera. So Tecno is a brand that I've worked with a couple times in the past, mainly with some of their earbuds. So they were nice enough to send me several different earbuds. I'm a big fan of being able to have earbuds everywhere I go, whether I have one in each car, my backpack. It's always nice to have a set of buds. You just never know when you're going to want to be able to pop one in your ear and take a phone call, or just watch a YouTube video. It's just really handy to have. So Tecno makes some great earbuds. If you haven't checked out my other reviews on their products, I encourage you to check them out. My go-to is one of their Tecno gaming buds. They're awesome. Alright, so they reached out and they said, hey, we got a brand new camera, and you guys know I've reviewed so many cameras on this channel. They are very similar across the board, and ultimately the thing that I always tell people when they're looking to add security to their home or video surveillance is try to think, and you can't always do this, but try to think a little bit ahead of, I guess, your future demands. You know what I mean? You want to pick something where you try to keep everything under one app, because the more, now for me it's a different story. I have many different brand cameras all over the place. There is something to be said about having different brands, because if one, let's say, server goes down, and I haven't had any real issues, but if you do have, let's say, one company that creates or has a problem, you're able to link up to or connect to another camera in your house that may be on a different brand, different app, and you'll be able to still check up on your property, your house, your office, whatever. So, but again, you'll have to kind of keep straight what apps are for what, right? Not that big a deal. I think, at least for me, I kind of know what cameras are where and in which app to press. You get used to that. So, not a big deal, but it is nice to keep everything under one roof. Now, a Tecno, from what I can tell, right now it looks like to use a Tecno Cam app, to use a Tecno Cam and their Tecno video surveillance products, you will have to use their app. Sometimes, like with Smart Life, I found that some different products, you'll download their particular app for their brand, but then they'll show up under your Smart Life account. So they probably use the same servers. In this case, from what I can tell, it looks like you have to use the Tecno app. Let's, what I'm going to do here is just kind of, again, we don't want to get too much into the box, and I'm not going to go through the setup. Their, I guess, claim to fame with this camera is they claim that this is the world's first maximum vertical angle home security camera. There's no longer any cause to worry about missing details. Now, I have to be honest with you, I'm a little confused at what that means. I think that basically means that the camera has the ability, let me just show you right here, I do have it plugged in, to completely go vertical. So if you were to put this on a desk, you can look up at the ceiling. If you were to put this on a ceiling, and they do give you the ceiling mount with this, you can basically look straight down. Now maybe some other cameras out there don't have the ability to look straight down. I'll tell you, I don't really know if that's the claim to fame for this camera. I can tell you that that's not true, because I have other cameras mounted outside my house that have the ability to look straight down and have the field of view that this has. So I'm not really sure where they get off saying that. I hate to say things like that when I'm doing a review, but I just don't see that this statement is actually accurate. The world's first maximum vertical angle home security camera. There's no longer any cause to worry about missing details. In all honesty, that's really only important if you're going to ceiling mount this, because if you have this on a desk or have this on, a nightstand or a fireplace, wherever you have this in your house, you're not really going to be looking straight up at the ceiling, and I don't think anybody's going to mount this kind of like, horizontally. So I think you're either going to have this on a, on end table, coffee table, whatever, or, in my case, I like to mount these on the wall and try to hide the wire. Good news, it is a USB-C connection. They do give you the cord, which appears to be, I'd say about 10 feet long, if just estimating there, 8 to 10 feet long. The bracket, so you can ceiling mount this, and of course, they give you the power supply, which is great. It's always a big pet peeve of mine when companies, sell this kind of stuff, and then they don't include the power supply. I know, they're cheap, we all have them, but I like to get everything in the box and be ready to go, Sometimes, I have a lot of other devices plugged in, so it's nice that they include that. Companies out there, if you're listening, include the power supply. If you have to charge $1 more or $2 more for the product, do that, include the USB adapter, Okay, it just makes it a lot easier for somebody to take it right out of the box and start using it. So as far as design, very similar to a lot of the other cameras out there. Nothing really to write home about. As far as the footprint, I think what I am going to use this for is downstairs. I'm going to replace a different brand camera I have that's a lot older, and the technology's gotten better, the chips have got a lot better, and I think that this will be an improvement as far as the speed and the access. We'll see. I'll test this further, and as with anything I test, I always come back and comment on it, and sometimes I re-review it. Just depends. Let me put this down for a second and read you just the most important specs. So you have a 2K HD resolution. Depending on your network speed, you may want to put that in standard definition. A lot of my cameras that I have on the inside, which aren't really, I don't really depend upon being able to see long distance with them, like cameras that are outside. I generally run those at standard definition. You have the ability in the app to change this over to standard definition, and from what I can tell, when you exit the app and re-enter the app again, it stays in the default resolution that you selected. I found when I put this in HD, it started to get kind of choppy and there was a delay. When I put it in SD, it was actually surprisingly a lot faster than I thought it would be. So that's really good, and that's the reason why, honestly, I'm probably going to replace a different camera. Again, the world's first. I'm sorry, but I call BS on that because I've had cameras outside for a very long time that look completely straight down or straight up like this does. So a little confused on that. When you do rotate the camera, you'll be able to rotate it. Let me just open the app here and I'll just demonstrate the viewing angle on this here, or the rotation capability on this here. Let me open the app. App opens pretty quick. You just select, make sure there's nothing personal on here. Yeah, so basically the app, I don't normally show the app, but basically you'll pop up your devices, and as soon as I hit enter, it retrieves video stream. It's pretty quick. It popped up a lot quicker than other apps. I'm not sure how that'll work outside the network. Again, your network speed from where you're connecting from and again to your home will depend on how this looks. But from what I can tell, I mean, it's pretty good. Like they're I'll tell you, some of the other cameras I have, when you start to move them around like this, they start to kind of freeze up. This is actually performing pretty well. When you go to change the viewing angle or the rotation, I'll just go ahead and move it here. Oh, well, you can't see. Let me just put this on my hand here, like so. I'll move it all the way around. Most cameras are like this. I was hoping that this camera would just completely spin around 360, but they don't. You'll have to go back all the way around. So if you look at the viewing angle on this here, let me see. I have the cord pointed directly at me. Let me see how far it goes, if it goes all the way back or not. So this camera, pretty much within a millimeter or so, will look all the way behind itself. So if you're mounting this somewhere centrally located and not against the wall, you'll be able to see all the way around the entire perimeter. And this is what I want to demonstrate when I go ahead to look up with this. In this case, you'll see it goes completely vertical and it stops. It doesn't rotate all the way to the back. Now, to me, I think that this would have been much better to have the rotation continue, where you can go all the way and sweep back. Because if you're mounting this somewhere centrally located in a room, maybe run the wire through the ceiling. Again, everybody's going to put these in different locations. You might have this somewhere more centrally located, maybe on a coffee table. It would have been really nice to be able to roll the camera all the way back. So it doesn't. So you, again, to move forward, to look behind you, you're going to have to bring the camera back down and then spin the camera around. So that's a little disappointing in that, because when they're boasting about the world's first vertical angle camera, again, it does get vertical, but unfortunately, it's not the only camera that I've seen that gets vertical. Let me just put this down here. I'm not going to really get too involved in reading you the app, but pretty seamless on how you go through the different functions: motion tracking, motion sensor, motion detection, excuse me, night mode. It has infrared. I'm just going to read you a few specs, what they state. 2K HD resolution, two-way audio, built-in siren, and automated camera privacy shield to safeguard your private moment. So I think what you can do here, let me just press the button. When you press shield, yeah, it actually cuts off the video feed completely. So I think that's a great feature. I've never seen that on any camera that I've ever reviewed. It actually, let's just turn it back on here. So what it says here, device goes in sleep mode. So you turn on the camera again. Yeah, so that's actually pretty cool. Let me see how long it takes to reactivate. Yeah, so now we have video again. So pretty quick. What's interesting about this is it actually has a built-in shield. It's not just that they're cutting the video feed. You can actually hear on the inside of the camera a click, and there's actually a shield that's blocking the lens. I'm just going to do that again with it facing me and see if I can see it. See what it does. So pretty cool. What it does is actually, so I'm incorrect here, glad I tested it. What the camera actually does when you put it in shield mode, it points the camera all the way down. The click you're hearing is probably the night vision popping on. So the camera's looking down into itself. When you press the button again to wake the camera, you'll see it automatically pops up. I gotta tell you, that's impressive. That is a great feature to have on this camera. I'm not gonna disclose my social agendas, but let me tell you, you know, there are times where it's nice to kind of turn off your camera. I generally will always shield private areas of my home. Like I don't have cameras in my bedroom, you know, or in my bathroom or anything like that. But there are times where you might want a little bit of privacy, you know, for whatever reason. We do live in a very you know, a very open world, right, with all the technology. I think that's a fantastic peace of mind feature. And what I love about that is that you're not actually depending upon something on the inside of the camera where you're like, is it really shielding? It's pointing the camera straight down. You can visually see there's no way that camera's looking inside your home. That is the selling feature on this camera, in my opinion. I've never seen a camera of all the, I don't know how many cameras I've reviewed over the years, 15, 16. I'm telling you, that's a fantastic feature. That privacy mode is a game changer. I've never seen it on a camera. Not saying you won't find it, but that's fantastic. 24 hours coverage. It does have a micro SD card if you want to add that. Doesn't come with it. I wish that these companies would start to just charge a little more. Either include the card or build that inside the camera, you know. I think that would be a much better thing. Be able to pull back that motion detection. You know, I always add cards to my cameras, but it's great to have it all together. The price points on these things have come down so much. You know, charge a couple dollars more and throw a basic SD card in there. So there is some onboard recording, but again, not a big deal. I always encourage people when they watch my videos and they do decide to buy something like this, I always encourage people to say, to just go ahead, and if it doesn't come with the power adapter, buy one. In this case, it does. But go ahead and buy the SD card ahead of time. You just get a basic 8 gig even. You know, all these things will loop record. So, you know, most of the time when something happens we need to check up on, we generally aren't going back too far. If you want more recording, you can get a 32 gig. But it'd be nice to go ahead and, if you're going to get this, just buy the card ahead of time. Cost you, what, $5, $6 more, depending on the size you buy. Not a big deal. I encourage you to do it. This way you're not after the fact being like, oh man, now I got to wait for my card. So this is what I think really makes the TH300 kind of special. It has, it says here, is high efficiency video coding. And what's interesting about this, when I compared this to some of my older cameras I have, like one of my Zamatos, you know, the video coding does kind of hiccup sometimes. It doesn't like the HD stuff. It's not smooth and seamless. I can already tell with this camera it's a lot faster, and that's because technology's changed. Chips have gotten faster, and this is modern technology as compared to a 5-year-old, 6-year-old Zamato camera. You know what I mean? So 220 degrees vertical, 360 degrees horizontal, and a viewing angle of up to 220 degrees. It says, and again, it states it again here: the world's first horizontally 360 degree and vertical 220 degree home security camera. Now, maybe I'm misinterpreting that. But I can tell you that when I watch how this camera turns, my other cameras do the same thing. So maybe they'll get more clarification on that. You know, it also might be that if you are ceiling mounting this, that you can rotate the camera all the way inside itself, and you can really rotate this where the camera's looking way up at the ceiling. I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but maybe if you're going to have this in a room where, I'm not sure, maybe a specific ceiling. I guess it's just nice that it has the extra viewing angle, but I don't think it's something that's specific to this camera. I think you can find it with other brands. It says it has Starlight night vision, which is basically night vision where you don't need infrared, but I do believe this has infrared as well. Starlight generally is meant to be outside because you're getting starlight, but basically in a nutshell, that's going to pick up a very small amount of ambient light you might have, a night light, and it'll be able to see in the dark without activating the infrared. Now, I haven't tested this yet, but I will put it to the test at a later date. 2K resolution again. And the rest, you know, I'm not going to go too in detail about the resolution. You know, again, AI cry recognition has AI smart tracking, AI smart detection, real-time monitoring family conditions. I'm not sure. They show a gentleman on his on the ground, an older guy. I'm not sure if it can detect, you know, the difference between somebody sitting down and falling down. Maybe there is some kind of built-in AI. It doesn't really read much about that, but overall I think the speed of the camera is pretty darn good. I'm looking at it right now. I have the feed open, and when I move this around, a lot of cameras I reviewed, they kind of hiccup. This is performing pretty well, so I am pretty impressed with it. That's really about it. I mean, there's not really too much else to say. What I encourage you guys to do anytime I review something is go ahead, click the link. I'm going to link it to Amazon if it's available there. If not, I'll link you directly to the store. I was not able to find this on Amazon yet. It might be too new, but by the time this video drops, hopefully I'll have a buy it now link. When you go directly to the website, which I'll link you to this as well, it just tells you about it. It doesn't have the option to buy on here. So, oh man, video foul. Sorry, guys. I mean, not really sorry. We all sneeze. That's about it. Storage guaranteed with the SD card. Enterprise level defense, built-in stronger privacy defense, it says, with data encryption. It does look like that it encrypts the video feed. When you open the video feed, it'll say encrypting video feed. I'm not sure if that's specific to something like this or if all cameras do that, but it does have a level of security. It does have a level to give you some confidence. They do have cloud storage. Again, I haven't tested you know, how much they give you for free. But it says here, with the improved 200, it says 200% storage space with H.265 encoding and smart coding. To me, you know, it says here, 265 H.265 compression reduces network bandwidth and storage usage by 50% with the same video quality. I'm not sure if my other ones are 264. I can take a good guess and say my Zomato ones are, and if that's the difference between 264 and 265, this is noticeable. So again, you know, stuff gets better, gets faster, worth checking out. So I would definitely check this brand out. Ultimately, you know, it's up to you guys to buy what you think is gonna be the best for your home. But this is definitely one that, like I said, I have lots of cameras sent to me all the time. A lot of times I review them and then they get put away for future use. With this, I think I'm going to, like I said, swap out one of my older cameras just because I'm pretty impressed with the performance so far. So that's it, guys. Definitely check out Tecno. Great company. Very happy with their products. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to ask. I'm always here to help you guys out. And if I don't know the answer, I'll try to get you the answer. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good weekend and take care.